Hey guys, welcome back to Gunpla News, episode 21 for August 2016. This is part 2, and we're going to talk about some kit and figure announcements. So as always, if you want to watch all 5 parts of this month's episode in a playlist, just all back to back, you can watch that once they're all uploaded. Part 1, we talked about some news related to Gundam and Gunpla stuff. This part, we're going to be talking about some new announcements. Next part, we're going to talk about some updates. And the 4th part is some third party. And 5th part is some featured kits. So you can check that all out if you want, or just whichever part you want. So let's get into it. We had a lot of stuff announced. A lot of the stuff was announced back in the beginning or middle of July, just after I did my July episode. So a lot of this stuff is not really particularly very new, and I did a live stream video already talking about a lot of this stuff that was announced when we had such a big dump of announcements all at once. So I thought I might as well do a video just talking about it right away, just to give my thoughts on it. So I did that live video. You can check it out where I talked in a lot more detail. This time I'm just kind of gonna go through and just give some general thoughts. And we do have some more new information, new images to work with since then, so we'll just kind of recap some of that stuff. So anyway, starting off the announcements, we did get some new announced Gundam Expo exclusives. I talked about this last month, that we had a bunch of Expo exclusives that are going to be available this year. We had some new stuff announced, which is not too surprising here. The first one is the RG00 Quant Transam Clear version for 2,700 yen. It's alright. I would prefer the gloss injected, because I had the gloss injected 00 Riser RG kit, and I actually really quite liked that. So I think eventually there probably will be a gloss injected version of the Transam 00 Quant, in which case I might try to get my hands on that one. But in this case, the clear version is not really for me, but that's going to be there for 2,700 yen. The RE100 GP04G Gerbera clear color version is going to be there for 3,600 yen. Like, I'm not really a big fan of clear color kits usually, but if you are. HG Build Fighters Crossbone Gundam X1 full cloth type Gundam Build Fighters Tri version. This is a metallic clear version, so it's like clear color, and then the full cloth parts are like metallic black. So it's kind of interesting. For also 3,600 yen for that, because of the metallic coating makes it more expensive. Interesting thing about that is that the original regular kit release I thought was terrible, because they did the white in that pearl gloss kind of injected white color, which was pretty bad. I actually think this version almost looks better, because I just really hate that gloss injected white so much, but that's just me. The SD Build Fighters Red Warrior Amazing Plavsky Particle Clear version, 1,000 yen, so that's cool if you like that kit. That was a pretty nice kit, really nice SD kit, really, to be honest. So Plavsky Particle Clear version doesn't look too bad there, sparkly. And last thing is the HG Build Fighters High New Gundam Vrave Amazing version. So this is like a gloss injected pink sort of Transam look for this, for the Vrave. 3,400 yen for that. That's it. So let's get into some other stuff here. We have the Converge SP08 Destiny Gundam and Infinite Justice Gundam set. So set of the two of those for 2,500 yen. But then there's also the P Bandai Converge SP08 plus Wing of Light effect parts for Destiny and Strike Freedom Gundam. So what this is basically it's the SP08, so it's the Destiny Gundam, the Infinite Justice Gundam in Converge form, but then you're also getting the Wing of Light effect parts for the Destiny and the Strike Freedom. So the Strike Freedom is not included. You have to have the Strike Freedom separately. But this will give you the Wing of Light wings for that, as well as the Wing of Light wings for the Destiny Gundam. You also get different versions of the rifles. So the Converge Destiny just has the cannon just stuck on the back, but this will give you a version of the cannon actually in use. It'll also give you a set of the rifles for the Strike Freedom connected as the long rifle. So also get some different hand options for the Destiny as well. So it's a pretty cool set if you are a fan of Gundam Converge figures, and especially these Seed Destiny Converge figures. So that set, the P Bandai set, will be available in November for 4,500 yen. So definitely pretty pricey for some small things, but they look cool, I think. So I love Gundam Converge figures, so I'm a little bit partial there. The Gundam Front Tokyo exclusive Converge Gundam Unicorn 03 Phoenix in Destroy mode, and Type RC in Destroy Mode. That's just like the silver version of the Phoenix. These are not going to be sold together, but sold separately for 1,600 yen. Those are going to be available from this month at Gundam Front Tokyo. So if you're there, or if you have a means of getting those will be some nice exclusive Gundam Front Tokyo Converge figures there. Then we had some more Universal Unit stuff announced. So apparently the Universal Unit series is doing pretty popular there, or at least it seems to be off to a good start. We're getting a lot of stuff announced for it, apparently. So the Universal Unit Set 2 is going to be on sale soon for 500 yen each. That's going to include the Zeta Gundam, the Zeta Plus, the Hygog, and the Gundam X. Now each of those have two different versions in this set. So like the Zeta Gundam, for example, one of them includes like the long rifle, the Hyper Mega Launcher. The other one includes just the standard rifle and the shield. For the Zeta Plus, one includes the long rifle, one includes the standard rifle and shield. For the Hygog, one includes the open hand and one includes a closed hand. That's pretty lame. I thought it should be like one includes open hands and like closed containers for the arms. The other one includes like open container for the arm or something. And then finally the Gundam X. I think one of them has the rifle and one has the beam saber. So anyway, different versions of those. I think if you buy them from Hobby Link Japan, you buy as a set of 10 of them. So you would probably get one of each, plus maybe doubles or some special version or something, if that. Then we also have the Universal Unit Zigok Type E. So this is like the experimental Zigok, out in October for 1,500 yen. This one does come with the container arms, which you can use for this, or you can use for the Hygog. So if you get like the set 2 and you have the Hygog and then you get the Zigok E, you can use those container arms for the Hygog, which is nice. But anyway, then the Universal Unit ZakuAurelius. ZakuAurelius, I don't know how that's pronounced. I can't speak German, but this is also out in November for 4,500 yen. Pretty pricey, but this is a pretty big thing. Like the ZakuAurelius is a pretty big, bulky mobile suit. I love the Zeku Eins, but this one not really so much. I think with all the stuff hanging off the back and like the really long like alien head, not really for me. But it looks pretty cool. It's nice that they're making some sort of set of that anyway, something available, even though it's not a kit. There's something out there anyway. Then we have the Mobile Suit Gundam Machine Head Set 2 is going to be out this month in August for 450 yen each. These look really cool. I wouldn't mind getting some of these. Set 2 is going to include the Shinanju, the Double Zeta Gundam, the XS, the Barzam, and the GM Sniper, which looks really cool. Aside from just the regular versions, there are also going to be framework versions is what they're called. I didn't know that before, but I do now. The framework versions are the clear color versions, so like not clear color, but mechanical clear, I guess is what you would call them. Like the inner frame part of the head is like still like metallic, like a gunmetal color, and then they have just the actual like armor parts on the outside are all clear and look really cool. All of these, the framework version and just the standard version, have like an open hatch thing as well, which is cool. So really interested in maybe getting a few of those. I really like those, the Shinanju, the XS, the Barzam, and the GM Sniper especially. The Double Zeta Gundam, not really too big of a fan of that one, but the other ones look really nice. So we'll see. And also a Next Edge Zeta Gundam Plus Hyper Mega Launcher is going to be out in December for 3,600 yen. So yeah, just the next in the Next Edge line. That's all. It looks like instead of, normally the Next Edge figures are including some sort of like beam effect part or some sort of like action effect part with that. It seems like in this case, instead of an effect part, they decided to give you Hyper Mega Launcher instead for that. So this one does seem to be a little bit more expensive as well though, so has a little bit higher price tag, I think, because of that. Again, 3,600 yen. I think they're usually less than 3,000 yen. So next is the Figurized Bust for Setsuna F. Seiei, out in September for 1,200 yen. This one I think looks like the worst of the Figurized Busts so far, to be honest, just because of the hair, the way you can see how the hair is separated. And even in like the promotion images, you can see like where like those lines are filled in on the head. Doesn't look too good, but of course with the proper amount of work, you can make it look fine. And I know that Setsuna is a very popular character, so I'm sure that one will have no problem selling either way. But that is the next one that will be coming out in September. The next, getting into some P Bandai stuff, and there's a lot of it. The P Bandai High-Res Gundam Barbatos 6th form is out in October for 18,000 yen. So I hope that this is the last high-res kit that Bandai ever makes. Just the Barbatos and now the P Bandai Barbatos 6th form I think is enough. They're super overpriced. I think no one is asking for those kits, and I mean, they look nice, but I just don't think that those are going to be really profitable enough for Bandai to really continue making them. I'm not really interested in them. They're just so expensive. For that price, you can buy a perfect grade kit, and I'm just not really interested in buying a 100 scale Barbatos. When honestly, the non-grade 100 scale Barbatos is a great kit. It's not a master grade. It's pretty darn close. This one also not a master grade, but it's like 4 times the price of a master grade, so just really not interested. So anyway, that's just me. P Bandai Universal Unit GX Bit. This is just like the kind of mass-produced type kind of GN version of like the Gundam X. So this is a set of 3 of them actually in this box. So you can get from P Bandai. It's on sale in October for 1,200 yen. So that's kind of cool if you have the Universal Unit X Gundam. Having a set of these to go along with that, like in the back, would be really cool. Just nice kind of display for your shelf there. It would have been nice if Bandai would have made a P Bandai version of the Master Grade X Gundam as the GX Bit kit. Seems like all they have to do is recolor it to gray, change a couple parts for the head especially, and pretty much that. But oh well, maybe someday. We also never got an X Divider, which a lot of people expected as well. But anyway, P Bandai Master Grade Perfect Strike Special Coating version is going to be on sale in October for 10,000 yen. This I think was actually announced before my last episode, but I forgot to mention it, so I'm just mentioning it here. It's just like a special gloss, shiny, sparkly coated version of the Master Grade Perfect Strike. By the way, I'm sorry if you guys are catching a lot of the sound of the cicadas outside. I'm using 2 different mics to try to hopefully keep the sound very directional on me, but the cicadas are very loud outside, so hopefully you guys aren't hearing too much of that. Like I said, I have the window open because I'm trying to keep it from being super hot. The P Bandai HG, the Origin MSD Waterproof Gundam was a big surprise announcement, I think. This was really surprising. This is going to be out in October for 2,000 yen. I definitely plan on getting this kit. I think the colors are pretty obnoxious, but I'll definitely be changing the colors on mine. But the kit looks really interesting. What's interesting to me is how this kit is a P Bandai release. Because usually P Bandai kits are things that are mostly recolored, and if there's any parts change, it's a few parts. Like maximum, like no more than like 20 or 30% of the kit is changed, or like including new parts. This one looks like 85% new parts. So like seems like the total opposite like ratio of new and old parts what is normally a P Bandai kit. So it's really weird that this wasn't just a normal release. I almost wonder if it was originally planned as a normal release and then Bandai just thought it just wasn't really going to be popular enough, so they made it P Bandai. I don't know, but just based on the mold of the Origin Gundam local type, you can tell that kit is molded in a way for those runners to be used again. So the Waterproof Gundam might even not be the last time that we see a different version of the Gundam local type. There's probably going to be more versions coming out later. Different forms, I don't know, possibly full release or P Bandai release, but the Waterproof Gundam is definitely surprising. So it has a lot of really cool weapons. One thing that I think is really interesting is the beam rifle that it has like that kind of extra parts you can put around the beam rifle. I guess it's like to make it waterproof apparently. Looks really cool, and then it has like the hook on the arm, which is the other thing that's interesting is that this from this, it seems very similar to the Aqua type GM. So I think that would be really nice. A lot of people I think would really enjoy, possibly even more, an Aqua type GM, but nothing anyway. So anyway, that looks really interesting, definitely, for sure. And interesting that it's 2,000 yen, the same price as the Gundam local type, which I thought was very overpriced, and this one seems to be very underpriced, I guess, for what it is, considering it's the exact same price as that, and it's a lot of new parts. But anyway, next we have the P Bandai HG Crossbone X1 Kai Kai. This is a very strange name for 2,200 yen. What this basically seems to be is like a HG version of the Master Grade Verka Crossbone X1. So basically, what's different about this is that it includes the Peacock Smasher, which was in HG form was previously, I believe, it was only available with the Build Fighters Try version of the full cloth, which you know, again, was that very ugly, nasty pearl white color. So this is cool. Yeah, I don't know how many more versions we can get of the P Bandai Crossbone, but it's probably up there with the P Bandai Jagan. That there's probably still a lot yet to come. Next, the P Bandai HG GM Sniper 2 Lido Wolf Custom. This one's going to be out in September for 1,500 yen. As far as I can tell, that's just a recolor. It'll probably include some new stickers as well, but overall, nothing really too new about that. P Bandai RG Shinanju Expansion Set is going to be out in September for 1,800 yen. This one I know has been kind of a big talking point in the community. What this expansion set is going to include, if you don't already know, is a damaged Shinanju head, which is only like the actual like physical damage. You know, one of the main parts of that damaged head is that a lot of the paint is stripped off on the head as well. So like in the anime and in like some promotional images for this, you can see it's painted like that, so that like it has like the silver paint on there basically to show like where the red paint is chipped off. But the actual part is not going to have that. So even if you buy this, you are going to have to do. I'm sure you could probably do it with just like some gray or silver Gundam marker. I would recommend just getting like a brush or something and some paint, or even just use the Gundam marker and just take the paint out of it and just use a brush to kind of brush that on there. But that's that. It has a damaged head. It also has the two rocket bazookas, the beam axe effect parts, which are like more dramatic, kind of slashing effect parts for the beam axes, new hands for holding the bazookas, and a small 1/44 scale figure of Colonel Daguza, who was the guy who was killed after shooting the Shinanju in the face with the rocket. So it looks like a cool set. I was really on the fence as to whether I want to get that or not. I think I'm just going to pass, because I think if I really want a damaged Shinanju head, I'll just modify it myself. Basically, it doesn't really seem that hard to just scratch build that. Bazookas are cool, but you can't always get those in other forms. Specifically from the weapon system, has the exact same bazooka pretty much. Won't be in the same colors, but you can always paint that. Beam effect parts are kind of interesting, but again, you can make those kind of. Probably won't. It'd be hard to make them as nice as those, but anyway, there's just not really enough to that set to really warrant buying it for me personally, but we'll see. Anyway, and then the P Bandai Master Grade Full Armor Gundam Thunderbolt Ver-Ka weapon and hanger set. This one I definitely am getting in September. In August, out later this month for 2,600 yen. I've seen August as a release date for this, but I wonder if it's going to be delayed at all, because I know certain websites don't have this available for pre-order yet. So basically what it is just a new beam rifle and a new bazooka, which is maybe a beam bazooka, I'm not sure, for the Full Armor Gundam there. And also a hanger, which we have not seen any pictures of the hanger yet, so we really don't know what that's going to look like, but it's just a weapon hanger there. So because the Full Armor Gundam already has loads of weapons already, to have two more weapons for that, obviously it's going to be kind of hard to hold them, so having some sort of hanger to be able to put all your weapons and stuff in will kind of be necessary if you're planning on displaying this. What I'm probably going to do is just take these weapons and give them to a different kit, just make some of their custom kit sometime later and give these weapons to it, because I really like the look of those weapons, but I really don't need any more weapons for my Full Armor Gundam, so that's my plan for that, and you might want to follow suit, I guess. P Bandai HG UC Mega Bazooka Launcher is going to be out in September for 1,200 yen. This is basically just to be used by the Revive Hyakushiki that's going to be out this month. Looks cool, and it also comes with some waterslide decals, which is nice. I think they're waterslide decals or stickers. I haven't seen. I'll have to look at that again more closely, but I believe it's one. But actually, now that I think about it, it's probably waterslide. It's probably not water slides, because we usually don't get water slides in HG releases, even if they're P Bandai. So it's probably stickers, I guess. But that will be out soon. Alright, that's it for P Bandai stuff. Now just into the regular release stuff. Now, again, a lot of this stuff I talked about already, so I'm just going to kind of go through it here. The HG Iron Blooded Orphans Gundam Barbatos Lupus will be out in October for 1,000 yen. Then we had 3 more Gundam type kits come out or announced for the HG Iron Blooded Orphans line. We had the HG IBO Gundam Type A. These are all tentative names. We don't have the full names for them, but Type A is out in December, and no price for this yet. But this is pretty obviously the reformed or updated version of the Gundam Gushan Remake, which looks kind of okay. I'm not really too excited about that. Then the HG Iron Blooded Orphans Gundam Type B, which is going to be out in December as well for, again, no price yet for that one either. This one, some people speculated that this is maybe a kind of rebuilt version of the Kimura's Trooper. I can see those similarities maybe in some parts, possibly. I don't think so, but we'll have to see. As I mentioned in my live stream talking about this, I think it's really cool. From what it looks like for the weapons, it has like a sword handle and like multiple sword, like extra sword blades there on like the side skirts. So like if it breaks one or something, it can just shoot and pull out a new one, something like that. So kind of cool, kind of like Attack on Titan kind of thing going on there. Then IHG Iron Blooded Orphans Gundam Type C, also out in December. No price yet for this one either. This one definitely looks like more outfitted for like heavy artillery. Has like the huge cannons on the back. So that one looks really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more about that. I'm sure that will be popular. Everyone likes a Gundam with big guns, right? Next is the HG Iron Blooded Orphans Galahorn Mass Production Type MS. This is again a tentative name for that. I'm sure it will have some sort of name. It will be some version of the Greys. Probably some like Greys something or blah blah Greys. Anyway, this one's out in October for 1,200 yen, and it looks pretty cool. The one thing that I really hate about this kit, though, as I mentioned a couple of times, is the hands. The hands are round, which is fine, but when you see the image of the back of the kit and you see like the inside of the inside of the hands, they look super terrible. They look like Lego hands or something, just really bad. But the rest of the kit looks all really cool. Definitely gonna change those hands though for sure. The weapons that it comes with are kind of meh as well. It's like two like little short lance things and like a couple of little shields and kind of lame weapons, but that's yeah. Then also the HG Iron Blooded Orphans Hostile Forces MS. Again, a tentative name for this, but some new enemy mobile suit here. Also out in October for 1,200 yen. I'm also kind of on the fence about this. Certain parts of the design I like, certain parts I don't really like. I like the color scheme though, that's for sure. And then we have an HG Iron Blooded Arms Option Set 5 with Tekkaden Mobile Worker, also out in October for 600 yen. This has a lot of stuff in there. It's like some short versions of the mace, a kind of new version of the sword for the Barbatos. One great thing that this has, finally, is we have some open hand options for the Barbatos. So these are open hands for the Barbatos Lupus, which look great. I hope that future option part sets will include more open hands for some of these kits, because I think they should have included those from the start, and it's kind of really disappointing that they haven't. The other thing we can see in this image is that at the bottom there's just a kind of teaser image for the next 1/100 scale non-grade Iron Blooded Orphans kit. It's pretty obvious that it's going to be the Gundam Barbatos Lupus. You could assume that, and you can see it in the image there as well. So there's that. We had a couple other Iron Blooded Orphans kits also shown in July, but we didn't get any like official announcement for them, but I'll just mention them here because I'm sure they will be coming out. It's not like, I don't think they're actually going to be canceled or anything. We just don't have any official information yet. One is like a Greys type, we can see, which looks really cool. Actually, this of the new Iron Blooded Orphans kits, that's actually one that I'm looking forward to the most. That Greys looks really cool. Then we also have the Grunts kind of type MS that's going to be used by Tekkaden there. It has that really big shield, which looks pretty cool, and overall looks interesting. Then getting into Gundam Build Fighters, we had a couple new things announced from Build Fighters. The HG Build Fighters Scramble Gundam, which is kind of like the new, possibly lead-ish Gundam from the series. I don't know. That's the one that's going to be out in September for 2,200 yen. Looks cool. Like I said, it's kind of a mix of like the Zeta, the Tri-Burning, and the Destiny Gundam kind of mashed together there. So it looks interesting though. I quite like that. And the HG Poochie guys, Surf Green and Guitar, and Rapapan Purple and Drum. So it's just a green and purple version of the Poochie guy. The green version comes with a guitar, the purple version comes with a drum, and this is going to be out in October for 540 yen each. At first I thought these were announced as a P Bandai exclusives, but then they were not. So these will just be normal releases. And interesting that they're the same price, but they actually include more parts. So I don't know if these will be the last Poochie guys we see, or if we might actually end up seeing more in the future. I would imagine that these two are going to appear somehow, somewhere in the OVA, even if it's just like in the opening sequence or something like that. But I imagine that that's why we're getting these, that they're not completely random, but we'll see. And the last thing here is the Karastan plate for Fumina Hoshino, out in September for 500 yen. This is another one that I think was already announced at the time when I did last month's episode, but I missed it somehow, so I'm just going to talk about it at this time. significant thing about this is it's the first non-Iron-Blooded Orphans Karastan plate, so seems the Karastan plates will be branching out of only Iron-Blooded Orphans, so that's cool. There's still some Iron-Blooded Orphans characters that I think I really wish they would have made, Akihiro especially, but oh well. Anyway, I'm sure we'll probably be seeing a few other Build Fighters characters coming out in the Karastan plate line, and I hope that they just continue that line indefinitely, really, because those are really nice. So that's it for all the announcements. Like I said, we had a lot, so thank you guys for sticking through that. In the next part, we're going to talk about updates for Kits and Figures, so I'll see you in part 3.